All right, guys, I want to talk about the estrangement with a narcissist, what that's like. And does it ever stop? Depending on, it doesn't matter who you're talking about. It could be a family member, a coworker, or an ex, or a boyfriend that you have right now, or a girlfriend. Estrangement is something that is just part of a relationship with a narcissist, okay? Most of the time, I would say all of the time, when you are in some sort of relationship with a narcissist, had it be a friend or a romantic lover or a family member, they usually will do something that, wrong. And when you call them out on that wrong, they will abandon the relationship, abandon you because they don't want to take accountability for it. They don't want to answer any questions about it. When you have found out some sort of wrong that they have committed, all right, they're not going to sit down and talk to you, and they're not going to level with you, and they're not going to do anything like that. What they're going to do most of the time is they're going to have some sort of fit, some kind of hissy fit, and then they're going to abandon you, and they're not going to talk to you anymore, and they're going to give you the silent treatment, and it can go on for years. People talk about days. Like, I've listened to people on here say, "Oh, my narcissist gave me the week for a week." A week? A week? A malignant narcissist. A real narcissist. I'm talking about these little people that think that they're dating a narcissist. They're not really narcissists, okay? A real narcissist will give you the silent treatment for years. Years. Not a couple weeks, not a couple days. Years. My ex-narcissist gave me the silent treatment for about 4.5 years. I, right after we broke up, I contacted him because I wanted to gather some of my belongings that I had left at his house, and I wanted to get some of the uh, holiday things I had there. And he completely ignored my request. He never contacted me about it. He completely, utterly, 100% ignored me for 4 years. Whenever I brought up me coming there to get my stuff, he ignored it. He would not talk about it. Um, yeah, 4.5 years. The same thing happened again. So basically we broke up. 4.5 years, he had a new supply source. I believe his new supply source was the person that he had known while he was, the person that I don't know, cheating, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to give the wrong term because I truly don't know. But I would say cheating, whatever the hell it was. It had to be some kind of weird shit, okay, that he was doing. That person was already there, so he was not going to let me come over to get my stuff while that thing was there. There was no way that was going to happen. So very early on, like I said, he had that new supply within, I would say, a couple weeks. A couple weeks. I do not know how soon they moved in, but it was probably pretty quick. Okay. So, yeah, that's what happened. So for 4.5 years, while he had that new supply source, he completely, 100% ignored me. Did not talk to me at all. When he became single, okay, then he talked to me. But it wasn't really talking. He didn't come back and talk to me and apologize to me or explain anything to me or admit anything to me or come clean to me about anything. He basically acted like an asshole, like he normally did. Didn't answer my questions, didn't really talk to me. He answered things that he wanted to answer, and things he didn't want to answer, he ignored me about. This is what they do. A narcissist is not going to sit down with you and level with you and talk to you with any kind of respect or dignity or anything like that. If you ask them questions, they're going to ignore the questions that make them look bad, or anything that they have to admit to any wrong. Most of the time, when you are asking a narcissist about what happened, what caused you to stop talking to me for 5 years or 4 years, they're going to flip it around on you and say that you were the culprit, you were the person that caused this downfall. They might say, well, I didn't think you wanted to talk to me anymore because of this. Or they're going to blame you, though. The thing is, they're going to blame you. They're going to say, oh, well, because you were bothering me so much, I couldn't handle it. Or this is how they are. They will look for anything. They'll pull things out of their ass, and it doesn't make any sense. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Like, I was trying to save. Like, I remember when me and my ex-narcissist broke up, we were having problems for about 1.5 to 2 years where I was trying to talk to my ex-narcissist. But I couldn't do it in person, because whenever I tried to talk to him, he would get very angry and upset because I was putting him on the spot about things. I was putting him on the spot about our relationship, answering questions about the relationship, things like that. What happened to our relationship? What's going on with the relationship? He did not want to talk about that stuff. And whenever I brought it up, he would either leave the room or just get very angry and mad and huffy, and we couldn't talk about it. So I came up with a different approach to talking to him. That didn't work either. In fact, he blamed me for that. He's like, well, because you would bother me with these messages, that's it for me. Like, I did not want to deal with you after that. Like, this is what they do. They will pull anything out of their ass, and you're like, well, look, I was trying to save our relationship by trying to communicate to you. It doesn't matter. They will still come up with anything that they can to flip it around on you. They are not going to admit anything, apologize to you, or anything like that. So when you've been estranged from a narcissist for a while, a long time, they're not going to return or try to establish any kind of contact with you by starting off by apologizing. They're not going to do that. They're not going to admit or apologize or say they're sorry about anything that happened, because they're not sorry. They're really not sorry. They're not apologetic because they really don't give a shit about you. They could care less. During the period that you were estranged, they were out living their life with their new supply source. They don't care that they hurt your feelings. They don't care anything about you. This is what people have to understand. And people are not getting it. They're not getting it. So you've been estranged for a number of years. Let's just say you were estranged for 3 years. Your ex-narcissist comes back, starting to talk to you like everything was hunky-dory for the last 3 years. If you meet your ex-narcissist in a place like a bar, a restaurant, down the street, they'll just start talking to you, maybe give you a hug and be like your best friends. Like, and you're like, well, wait. We haven't talked in 3 years. You never answered for what happened in the last time we stopped talking, or the last downfall that we had. They're not going to bring it up. They're not going to talk about the last incident. They're not going to say they're sorry about the last incident. It's as if everything had been hunky-dory for the last 3 years. And you know things weren't hunky-dory because you were trying to talk to them and they were just ignoring you. This is what it's like with a narcissist, okay? It's fucking crazy shit. And people need to understand what it's really like. If you're waiting for an apology or for them to say you're sorry, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. Because they really aren't sorry. That's why they don't start off anything with, I'm sorry. They're not going to come clean about why they ignored you. They're not going to come clean about anything. They're going to flip it around on you and say, you were acting crazy, talking shit, talking about all this weird shit. I couldn't handle it. I didn't want to talk. This is what they do. They'll come up with all kinds of shit and blame it on you. They flip it around and they make it your fault. This is why you have to stay no contact with a narcissist, because there is no resolution. There's no resolve with these people because they are not able to say, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong. I ignored you and I was wrong for doing it. When you were contacting me, I should have wrote you back, but I didn't. Why? Because I'm an asshole. And they're not going to say the real reason. Well, I was mad at you because you ignored. They're not going to say why they were being an asshole to you either. There could be some underlying reason, but they're not going to tell you. They are not going to tell you why. They're just not going to. They're never going to talk about whatever happened. What they want is they want you to talk to them as if everything has been hunky-dory forever with them. They do not want to answer any questions about anything that they did that was wrong, about their cheating, about their betrayal, about their lying, about their anything. Well, what happened the last time we talked? What was that whole thing about? What happened? Why did you just stop talking to me? They're not going to talk to you about it. And if they do, they're going to make up some bullshit and they're going to twist it around and they're going to flip it on you to where you're the one that caused the problem, when you know damn well that you weren't. This is why you have to stay away from narcissists. You cannot establish or go back and bury the hatchet. There's no hatchet anymore. There's no bridge anymore. They burnt the bridge. The hatchet has been buried a long time ago. It's gone. And you just have to move on with your life. You cannot give these people a chance. There is no resolve with these people. You will never resolve a problem with a narcissist, ever. You will never go back to the origin of when the problem first started and talk about it and level with each other and get to the bottom of anything. They cannot do that. See, when I reestablished contact with my ex back in 2019, that's what I thought we were going to do. I thought that me and him would be able to have a mature conversation about what happened to our relationship. Why did it go wrong? What happened? Maybe he would admit to me some of the things that he was doing. That didn't happen. All he did was blame me for everything that happened that went wrong. And nothing went wrong. I was a perfect girlfriend to that cocksucker. I did everything. Like, I was too nice. I was too good for him. I treated him too well. And I went there thinking that me and him could talk to each other and really, it's been years, right? So I'm like, well, it's been 4 years we've been broken up. Maybe now we can actually talk about things in a friend way. Didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. He was still dodging questions, not answering questions, answering only questions that he wanted to answer. And if there was anything that he did not want to answer that was going to make him look bad or wrong, he ignored it. That's what they do. So there is no resolve. There is no chance of a, uh, not so much a, getting back together or any kind of like, what do you call that? Reuniting. There's no chance of that ever with a narcissist. But there's not even a chance, like with mine, me and him can't be friends. We're not able to be. We just can't do it. Because I'm somebody who expects respect and truth. And he's just not that kind of person. He's very disrespectful and he lies. And if he doesn't lie, he just ignores you. So he's either not answering you and giving you the silent treatment, or he's being a dick. That's it. There's only two things you're going to get from him. He's being an asshole or he's ignoring you. This is the way it was for a long time with mine. Because he's not going to answer questions that he doesn't want to answer. And when he doesn't want to answer a question, he will give you the silent treatment. And the silent treatment will go on for a very long time. A very, very, very long time. So there is no chance of any problem getting solved with these people. It's just not going to happen. I have accepted that with mine. Yeah, it bothered me. When I realized my ex was a narcissist, I had to come to terms with the fact that there's never going to be any chance of me and him ever becoming friends. Me and him are never going to be able to sit to get together and talk about old times or laugh about some of the shit that we did when we were younger. We're not going to be able to ever do that. I had to accept that that's it. He's a person from my past, and that's it. We cannot remain friends or even be acquaintances. And that hurts. It hurt me back then because I really wanted to do that. But then I thought to myself, do I want to deal with him again either? Do I want to listen to his stories and stuff, and then I have to hear about him with these other women, and it's disgusting. Really, it's nasty. I don't want to hear these stories again. I don't want to. I almost threw up the first time I heard about his story. Literally, I got very nauseated while he was talking to me about his new supply source. I got literally sick to my stomach over it. And I didn't feel well. And I don't want to go through that again. I really don't. I can't handle it. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. I'm lucky that me and him didn't have kids, because it would have been horrendous. I'd have to be there with my children and having to, have custody of whatever weekends with his father, and he's got some person there. I wouldn't be able to handle. That's nasty. That's nasty. I would not let my kids be with him. I would have to get some kind of court thing where I'd be like, okay, look, I have to come up with something. I would not let my kids be there. I'm lucky I dodged a bullet there. I'm very lucky that I did, because that would have been nasty as hell. But I don't want to go through that again, listening to another one of his new supply source stories. I can't handle it. I could barely handle it last time. And like I said, I'm lucky that I didn't have kids with him. Because I would have to drop off my kids at his house, and it would have been a nightmare and a half. I'm lucky. They say things happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. I really am. So, narcissists are not going to apologize. They're not going to come clean. Okay? You're going to stay estranged for a long time. The only time that you're not going to be estranged from them is when they return, or they try and make an appearance in your life again, but they're not going to ever apologize for what happened the last time. They're going to start off with, hey, how you doing? Or they're just going to start talking to you about something. And you're like, well, that's, you might even answer them, be like, hi, how you doing? But they might bring it up like, well, hey, what happened? Where you been the last 3 years? I was trying to call you. Like, what happened? Or I was trying to contact you. Whatever happened? They'll come up with some crazy excuse. And they're going to blame, but you're going to be the blame for it. You're going to be the blame for it. They're not like, oh, you were trying to contact me? Well, you know what? My phone was turned off. Or, oh, my email, I couldn't get into my email for 3 years because I didn't know the password. Like, they will come up with some shit that is so unbelievable. And if they don't come up with some bullshit, they're going to turn it around on you and blame you for it. Like, oh, you were just being crazy, talking crazy, and I was too busy at that time. They're going to come up with something. Most of the time they flip it around to make you the problem. You're the culprit of the problem. And you just have to say no. You have to be no contact. The only way around all this aggravation and bullshit is to just stay no contact. If you become estranged, that's a blessing in disguise, guys. It's a blessing in disguise. Stay estranged. The less you have to deal with them, the better you will be. More peace you're going to have in your life. All right. Because the minute you let them back in, they are going to cause some kind of crazy bullshit. They are. And you have to just shut the door and lock it and throw away the key, because this is what you have to do with them. You have to learn. Like with me, I learned my lesson the last time with mine. That was it. That was it. Like, there was nothing. Like, he never apologized, first of all. He never came clean about his wrongdoing. I expected him to say, you know what, I was sorry. I made a big fucking mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, he never admitted shit to me. He never apologized or admitted anything to me, when the whole thing was just wrong. Narcissists are not going to let you in on their problems or their wrongdoings. If they made some sort of error with someone, they're not going to tell you about it. They don't want you to know about that shit. They're never going to admit that they did anything wrong. They can't do it. Their ego doesn't allow them to do that. So that's it, guys. This is it about the estrangement. You're better off staying estranged. You're better off, because any kind of contact with these people is only going to bring more aggravation, more lies, more stress, and less peace to your life. It's going to bring another headache, another bullshit, because it's not going to be true, okay? Whatever the narcissist is going to tell you, it's going to be all bullshit too. They're not going to come clean. They're not going to admit anything. They're not going to tell you anything new. It's going to be a repeat of what happened last time. So you have to wake up and resist the beast. Like I say, resist the demon and stay away. Stay away. That's it, guys.